Did you know that we are actually hardwired by evolution to remember our failures way more vividly than our wins? Yeah, it's a survival mechanism called negativity bias. And honestly, it's the exact reason why trying to overcome adversity often feels just overwhelmingly difficult. So, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really powerful framework designed to short circuit that natural bias. We're going to explore exactly how to transform your mindset from a state of feeling totally defeated into a state of relentless, unshakable determination. We'll be unpacking the mechanics of mental toughness, figuring out how to purposefully shift our consciousness, and learning how to look at massive obstacles through a completely different, empowering lens. Let's get into it.
Look at this number. There is an undeniable truth about your past that instantly neutralizes those creeping feelings of inadequacy. We so often let our current fears totally overshadow our actual track record. Think about it. You might agonizing over a missed promotion, maybe a failed relationship, or a bad financial call, and suddenly your brain tries to convince you that you're entirely incapable of handling life's pressures. But the sheer, hard data of your own life tells a vastly different, highly victorious story. We really need to acknowledge that data right now, because when you strip away the emotion and just look at the raw numbers, you're presented with a pretty staggering statistic about your own personal resilience. So, what exactly is your survival rate for bad days? Think about the critics you faced, the rejections, the unexpected firings, and those deeply dark days where you genuinely didn't think you were going to make it out. The person behind the source material we're analyzing today actually talks about literally sleeping in abandoned buildings, just staring at the ceiling, shivering in the cold, where mere physical survival was all they could process. Try to vividly imagine hitting that absolute rock bottom, where every single circumstance is screaming that it's over. Yet, when we calculate your track record for surviving those exact types of seemingly insurmountable days, it is a flawless 100%. You have survived every single bad day you've ever had. You defeated every one of those moments of despair just by waking up and being here today. That isn't just motivation. That is an empirical fact.
Section 1. Sight versus vision.
Okay, so everybody has sight, right? But very, very few people actually have vision. Sight locks you into your current pain, your present reality, and exactly what's sitting right in front of your face. If you walk onto a construction site using only sight, all you're going to see is a messy pile of bricks, some dirt, and loud machinery. But vision? Vision is entirely different. Vision is the architect looking at that exact same pile of dirt and seeing a magnificent, soaring cathedral. Vision is the mental stamina to see yourself winning the championship long before the game is even played. A true champion believes their dreams so deeply that even when their current reality looks absolutely nothing like the dream, they never lose faith. They don't just sit around hoping for it, they actually construct it in their mind before it ever materializes in the physical world.
To build this architectural blueprint in your mind, you literally have to dedicate 10 to 20 minutes a day to a highly specific, private routine of mental visualization. You actually have to physically go into a room, close the door, and totally isolate yourself from the noise of the outside world. And in that quiet, you must genuinely see and feel yourself achieving your goal. You got to walk in it, live it out in the future, and deeply experience the emotions of that success. And here's the crazy part. Neuroscience tells us that the brain actually struggles to differentiate between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you visualize, you are literally rewiring your neural pathways to recognize opportunities that align with that goal. Then, you come back to the present and you start working toward it every single day. Create dream boards. Put a picture of that new career on your bathroom mirror or the target goal on the fridge, because you absolutely cannot win if you can't see it first.
Section 2. The turnback moment. Look, life fundamentally does not care about your perfectly crafted plans. It just keeps indiscriminately dealing out the cards. Eventually, holding onto your vision is going to violently collide with life's relentless challenges, and that brings you to a critical juncture known as the turnback moment. A turnback moment is a specific point where you are hit with hardship and you have to make the absolute choice to either push forward or give up. We've all hit that wall, right? Sometimes it's minor, like having an emotional breakdown while trying to assemble a really complex piece of IKEA furniture, or realizing you're 10 miles into a deeply regrettable hike. But then there are the massive walls, the existential career crises, the health scares, the heartbreak. Everyone faces this. But here is the stark, unbending guarantee. If you give up at this moment, it is absolutely guaranteed that your dream will never happen. Zero chance. But if you keep going, if you stubbornly refuse to quit, the possibility remains alive. It is incredibly profound to realize that it's not what happens to you in life that determines your future. It is entirely how you respond to what happens to you. When uncontrollable events totally mess things up, you're faced with two distinct paths. Imagine suddenly losing your job because of company downsizing. Path A is the default human reaction. You get upset, nervous, entirely consumed by the injustice of it all, and you let that weakness dictate your next several months. But Path B? Path B is where you attack the problem. You stand up inside yourself, and you take extreme personal responsibility. You step up and say, okay, this happened, what is my next move? And you systematically handle it. You have to know deep in your core that you are built for this reality and that you are vastly capable of overcoming it.
Section 3. The purpose of pain.
To really master this framework, we need to completely recontextualize how we view pain. Society conditions us to see pain as a punishment, right? A signal that we're doing something wrong. But actually, it's a mandatory prerequisite. The very struggle you desperately want to run away from is literally the vehicle driving you towards your reward. At the end of pain is your success, your freedom, your ultimate goal. There's an old saying that there is no testimony without a test. And if things are incredibly hard for you right now, you are simply in the middle of your test. Think about the last time you went through a deeply painful transition in your own life. In hindsight, wasn't that exact period of struggle the catalyst for the strength and wisdom you rely on today? Don't run from your calling or your struggle, because that friction is explicitly meant to make you stronger. You simply don't know how strong you are until you're forced by circumstance to become strong. What you're feeling right now isn't the end. It's your breakthrough moment.
Your character is put to the test when your back is against the wall. I mean, anyone can operate in excellence on a perfect, sunny day when everyone is chanting their name and they're just effortlessly riding the wave of success. It is so easy to be positive when your bank account is full and your plans are perfectly aligned. But true grit, the kind of character that actually alters the course of history, that is forged in the dark days when your circumstances unexpectedly and drastically change. The source material poses a really vital, almost uncomfortable question that we all need to answer. What are you going to do in the days of darkness? Are you going to sit there and whine about the unfairness of it all, or are you going to reach deep down and use the creative powers you were given to get back up?
Section 4. Staying the course.
I absolutely love this analogy. I am not the rabbit, I am the turtle. Society loves to blindly praise the rabbit. We are completely obsessed with overnight successes, viral moments, and this idea of raw, unbridled talent instantly launching someone to the top. But the data and the historical sources, they always consistently back the turtle. Success isn't handed to you on a silver platter. It demands a deeply unglamorous, consistent daily grind. It means getting up when you're exhausted, putting in the hours, reading the extra material, studying, staying up all night, and relentlessly fighting for just 1 inch of progress. It's about being doggedly consistent over a long period of time and utterly refusing to quit, even when the rabbits around you seem to be sprinting past you with half the effort. Nobody gives you anything in this world. You have to fight for it, step by agonizing step.
Because eventually, you're going to reach a plateau where pure skill or intellect just isn't enough to propel you forward. Knowledge will only get you so far. Heart has got to take you the rest of the way. You can literally be the most talented person in the room, holding all the degrees and possessing all the technical know-how. But when you are exhausted, profoundly doubting yourself, and desperately wanting to give up, your books and your skills cannot magically make you get out of bed. Pure talent often quits when it gets too hard. Getting to the elite levels of success is entirely about stamina. It requires a deep-seated hunger that brings out an absolute fierceness in you. You need a resilient heart that simply refuses to be denied, no matter what the spreadsheet or the external odds say. So, implementing this requires a radical shift in your daily routine. First, you have to start blocking out the people who just don't understand your journey. When you set a massive goal, people will tell you you're out of your mind. You can't expect them to understand your sacrifices, so you must selectively tune out their skepticism and fiercely protect your energy. Second, you have to stay the course no matter the situation. Whether the economy crashes, your funding falls through, or you face a massive personal crisis, your commitment to the vision cannot waver. The external world doesn't dictate your internal resolve. Third, you've got to sell yourself on your ability every single day. You are your own most important client. You must wake up, look in the mirror, and intentionally tell yourself, here I go again. I have what it takes. I am equipped for this. You have to manually overwrite your own self-doubt daily. And finally, direct the creative power in your life. Realize that whatever your life looks like right now, it is merely a physical duplication of your past consciousness. If you don't like the results you're getting, you have the inner genius to change the inputs. You are in control of the narrative. As we conclude this explainer, I want to leave you with a deeply provocative thought drawn right from the core of the source material. It's a question you really need to actively carry with you from here on out. Is failure going to break you, or is failure going to make you? You get to decide. Remember that failing over and over and over again isn't the opposite of success. It's the exact mechanism by which champions eventually succeed. If you are breathing, you are not finished. You have another gear inside of you just waiting to be engaged. So make the absolute choice to let failure make you. Stand up inside yourself and never,